talk about. Sorry, my video's acting up. My camera's acting up on my video. It may kind of stutter. You see this video. I want to recently tell you what happened with a friend of mine, and I want to talk about these companies and these people that you work for, these big companies like General Motors, and you have General Electric, you have Amazon, Walmart, and you have all these, big corporations that employ hundreds and thousands of people. And what I noticed is, like with the case with my buddy, he worked for like a well-known plant, a plant that do paint. They paint. They have all different kind of paints for boats. They have all kind of different paints for basically a lot of businesses and cars, and they have contracts all over the place. So recently, he informed me about this was happening. This happened to him about a while ago. So the property where his workplace at before he transferred to his new place, they were making good money. They were making. It was paying like over I think $3 to $4 million for the property and everything, and they was getting business and contracts that they were all across the country. And so they were doing good. They were and then one of the things about his company was the paint company, that this well-known paint company, they are getting heavy increases in profits and everything. They have a high clientele of different major corporations that in smaller venues that are under the major corporations that they keep them in business. And so he's been out there for he's worked for them for like almost 25 years, because he's looking to do another 5-6 years in. So these people in these boardrooms, they some idiots. They go close the company down, that the company, one of the buildings that's prospering with clients and everything. And then insult to injury, they don't even tell their clientele that they're about to close up shop. And I don't know who is running this paint corporation, but they got to be the most dumbest idiots I've ever seen. When you get a serious customer base, you have to have proper communication with people you do business with in order to keep businesses coming through, and so you can maintain and keep happy employees. Now him and these guys been working at this plant since it started, and there was some people there longer than he was, and they put all their sweat and all their time and effort into this plant. For this paint, it's a well-known plant. They got plants across America, and so they're going to shut down the facility, make them work to the end of the month. Just keep on working, and then they said once some jobs come up, you can bid on the job. They'll switch you to another corporation, one of the other plants, whatever. So, he has a family. He has a household. He has to make a mortgage payment. He has 2 car payments for him and his wife, and he has a son that needs special needs. Okay, these companies, they don't care. They really don't care when there's been dedicated employees that spend all their hours and practically they helping these folks get rich and helping them to make profits. Only thing to do is to slam the door in the face. The reason why you see in the economy that, well, let me finish the story. So after so he get transferred out. First they offered him 2 positions. One was in near Cleveland, Ohio. The other one was in another little town next to Cleveland. So he puts it like most jobs do. They bid on the jobs basically because he got a family to support. And he waited, he called, he said, hey, what's going on? Because his place where the workers where he was from, most of the guys were getting laid off. So he just want to make sure he have something. It's like anybody else, so they won't be put out in the street and it will be out without transportation. He wants to pay his bills and continually to work and everything. And so the company just keep blowing, oh yeah, we're gonna get back with you, blah blah this and blah blah that. And when I find out, some people, they have that they were, when the spots open, we'll let you know. And the guys he was working with, the guys that were left working with, they still ain't got the job up there in Cleveland. So they waiting. So they've been trying to stay. So they break it. So right now, what they were doing, they were breaking all the equipment down and trying to get so they could truckload the stuff out to different plants across the USA where they had company from. And so it was some. And I'm like, damn, he's some idiots. I mean, and it make it so bad. It's a woman that's running this major company. And so she just cut back on things, cut back on this. They don't want to pay no overtime. And I mean, in the midst of all this is going on, the way it's run, I don't know. It's like people feel like just because they have a college degree, you figure that you have some people that got some lick of sense and brains, but so she comes to the decisions to close down the plant. Now here's this plant that's prospering out of all the plants in Ohio and throughout the one in North America. And so it's like, damn. And so half of his co-workers, a couple of his bosses had retired early, and then some took their severance pay. He didn't take the severance pay because he's trying to be loyal and get in his 30 years at the company. So he didn't get called to Cleveland. He goes to this other day, sent him to this town up in Northwest Ohio, and he got a plant up there. Here's the thing about it, is the difference that now, they work you 10 to 12 out. They work you 10 to 12 hours. Then here when you come to town, you get paid. They mess up your money. And then when he went to go ask him what's going on, I got some prior. I need my money. What's going on? Well, we took the money out because you bought your insurance. Why would you do something like that? Where the man is transitioning out of money. So I can imagine, like any person, man or woman, when this happens, like, what the heck? What you supposed to do? And so all your bills is paid up. Your mortgage is coming. Your car payments around. Utilities is coming. Probably God knows what else. You got this going on, and then he's trying to take care of a family because he's seeing some things, what's going on with his son, and this pops up. And all I gotta say is that these companies out here ain't worth staying loyal to. None of them. They're not worth. Not one of them ain't worth loyal to. I don't care what major corporation you work at. I'm to the point. They're not worthy. They're not worthy. Here you dedicate the third of your life. You get up and go to work when you ask them to go. You put in all the overtime and help them meet their deadlines and this is the way they pay you. They don't want to pay you your money. And then what was crazy about in his case was they want to work all these hours and take a pay cut for down to $15 an hour. Now he didn't put in the time, and he earned it. But now it's like some of these companies. Now here you at the same corporation, and they want to get rid of some of the seniority, and the ones that they've been earning their way up to like almost $20 an hour. I mean, they put in the time, years, season after season, the sacrifice and everything. And I mean, they moved their productive, the quality of the product, the productive. Got it all. They got the numbers right and everything. They keep the clients going. They keep the clientele happy. Everything has been pushed out the warehouse and everything. Only to find out that your company, your people in your upper echelon want to close the damn door. And this is what they do, like they do at General Motors, and they did this at General Electric, and then you have a company like Amazon. They'll hire a lot of people, But in the end, when you find out when you work with them, from what I heard, they didn't want, they fired one dude because, hey, during the COVID-19, he was worried about having masks and having, protective gear in the plant. They fired him because he raised the issue about that. Then from what the article, there was an article I read that was saying that sometimes they don't even get initial breaks. They don't get initial lunch break. That's the same way what his company was. They didn't give him lunch. They give him they give him 15-minute and 2 10-minute breaks. You don't get a chance to eat, have a proper lunch break. Trade, it's really messed up. Some of these companies, what they do, have all these factories and warehouses, and you hear you busting your behind at a FedEx or something like that. You get injured because you miss move or something. You injure your back or your leg, and you messed up. You could be in your 30s or mid 40s, and you messed up till you in your 50s and your 60s or your 70s. It's just it's ridiculous, and that's why people are giving up and don't want to work. Then this ties into what's going on lately with the politicians. Everybody wants you to vote, whether it's Democrat or Republican. They want you, come on, we got to hurry up and vote. But what I'm voting for? When no one even solving the problem, that's what's going on out here. They're not solving the problem about people losing their jobs. They want to cut people off in different states. They sitting on those Democrats and Republicans. Them and their families are set for life, and they ain't worried about the mass majority of us from the most of the lower working class that is getting hurt because of the pandemic, because the governors are shutting stuff down, and it took a long time because half the businesses couldn't keep up with no more because they paying all the expensive rent. So some of these little small mom and pop businesses are struggling too. So, and they don't want to send no relief money because, like, wait a minute, it's too much. But yet you can rip trillions and millions of dollars and send them over to some foreign country, but you can't get enough money to take care of your citizens. Come on, man. But you send trillions and millions of dollars to try to for people who legally is not even in the country. But you won't save for your American citizens who've been paying their taxes and their money out their paycheck, and every year they try to see if they can get their money back from all the taxes that they done paid in through state and local and this city and state. What's going on here? It makes you wonder, what's is the vote? Then it's like, okay, now we're going to go with Biden because Trump did this and this, and then Biden turned around might do the same thing. It's the same. it's two of the wing of the same bird. They play this game. Look at what's been going on in the history of America when it comes to politics and how it affects the economy and everything around us. They've been playing the same game for a long time. It's a power struggle between two rich old white men. That's all what it is. And they don't give a damn about. They just want to put on a Shakespearean act like for all of us, and then we fall for the bullshit. And don't ever change. It's not changing for America. There's other countries that take better care of their citizens than we do. When it comes to something like a crisis like this, you have people getting evicted out of their homes by hundreds of thousands of no fault of they own, and they pissed around up there in Washington D.C. trying. Well, I don't know. That's not don't write it in the budget, whatever. What the hell? Well, we have to wait till we come back after Labor Day. 500 billion Americans is evicted on the streets, and then you got companies that want to decide to lay off because they ain't following certain procedures, and if your business is not holding down, if they violate, they shut you down or ticket or they'll fine you. You got all this madness is going on. And I can understand why some people, they just gave up. Some people are just losing hope. And like my friend, I mean, it almost broke him down. And it's like millions of Americans out there. They don't give a crap about anything. All they care about is themselves. All they want you to do is, we got to look at this stupid ass one. And if you look at the record of right now of the Democrats, they ain't done nothing. They helped everybody else out about the people who really need it. And every time they put them in, it's like they so focused on the presidential, while millions of people are starving, millions of people, the food pantry lines to get even longer, millions of people are wondering when they're going to have the next check, millions of people wondering what's going to happen. And you got these politicians, and all it is a power play. And I'm like most Americans. I'm like most Americans. I get so tired messing with this. I'm tired. I don't even watch those Republican and Democrat debates. For what? It's a show. It's all this. It's a damn show. It's to the point I can understand why some people don't even want to vote no more, because it's the same. If it don't seem like it don't meet to a certain criteria or certain agenda, where it's going to screw over more Americans, cost more money out of the poor, working, low class people, and to the point that we all live in third world countries like you see over in Venezuela or Colombia. I mean, some parts of Latin America. It's like the spirit of the poverty have jumped over here, and you have politicians playing games. You got politicians that being corrupt just as the ones over in the other countries. We can't say that we ain't no better, because you see the same crap. Here's some people that left their country to come to American country because it's supposed to be one of the prospering countries, but shit, when they came over, they come right in the midst of a plague, because you have fires in California. I mean, and that economy out West Coast is going to be jacked up for a while, because it's going to be homeless people, businesses, the crops are burning for the farmers, and everything like that. So the food prices is about to go up, and you got Washington D.C. playing games. I mean, it's just, I'm like fed up with like a lot of people from all across the walks of the board. You get tired of this bull crap, and one's trying to prove one's a racist and one not the racist. Look here, they both were racist. Okay, at least I heard one black man said this. He said, at least with Trump, at least you see what kind of racist he is. He let you know right off the bat. Biden's the kind of racist. He's a hidden racist. He's the kind of person, him and Kamala Harris, when they had the laws, whatever, for young black men and innocent men, and what she did in California, she didn't even hear the doggone case. And then it gets some well-known black politicians. They play the skin color game, and that's what racist people do. They think that we gotta get a certain demographic because they know that there's a certain percentage of African Americans that vote that counts until it gets to the point that they can allow more Latinos in, and they can play in their favor. It's a numbers game. It's all what it is. But with the same, even though there's going to be a certain percentage of people in the immigrant community are advancing on grants and certain loans and able to get the things that most Americans have paid their taxes to, and some things that because Americans get more bad loans, high interest rates, and you have people losing their homes. Meanwhile, and this is what your politicians from in Washington D.C. set this up, and they think that, and this is sound like what they did with the Democrats. It was in the Democrats' book, it was in their hands. The Obama era, he's too busy trying to help them out. Well, you have other Americans. This is what is going on. And yes, Trump did his soggy stuff too. But at least at least the way. I'm not either for either one or the air, but it's like two lessons of the evil. Let me tell you, this is the most ridiculous. It's gonna sound crazy, and it's gonna sound erratic. Imagine this: you have two men, and they concurrently, one could be of neo-Nazis of the skinhead, and you got the other one saying neo-Nazi. We're Klan, we're an American Klan. Neo-Nazis over here that have their personal belief in their system and they both got something in common that every other nationality and religious people don't even matter. Just make sure that the people that we count let us matter. What difference does it make? But they both, in some cases would be labeled as terrorist group, looking at the history of what they've done to other people, and that's what it is right now. So, and we said, well, the Klan said, well, we don't technically go out there and basically beat people up, but we just burn the cross. We just and then you got the skinheads saying, no, we just go and kick someone's head in. And it's like, what's the difference? You're both doing the same thing, and that's the same thing. I'm saying, what difference does it make? They said, what? And then the Klan might come along and say, well, now we want to diversify, so we're going to let Hispanics into the Klan. I mean, this was, we want to be diversified now. This is how ridiculous that is getting. And the reason why I'm using those two analogies, because you're going to see the same doggone results. The same, they have the same purpose, the same meaning. They have a subject to other people who is not eloquently, and keep the other ones down and disturb and let them stay down. And any special interest group rise up, just shut them down and terrorize them. The close. That's basically what it is. But getting back to this, and this is how it's all connected. So you have innocent people who get locked up in prison. Now Trump decided to release some to find out later on some of the cases, which people like Kamala Harris, that's what she did. She locked up innocent people out there in California. It's on document. If you look at old video of it, they were stating that she wouldn't even hear the case. There was a young black man that didn't do the crime, and there was evidence that she did. But with Joe Biden, when the situations were jumping down in the past with drugs in the inner city, we got to do something with crime was going on. Just because it was an inner city, we got to do something. We got to put these son of guns in prison. So he drafted a bill, and so a lot of young men, and don't excuse the ones who did, but there was ones who didn't deserve the same amount of time. But based on the demographic of where they live and the complexion of their skin, they end up doing more time, and he never repented. He never said he was sorry. Neither did Kamala Harris. Yet they used Barack Obama. They used his wife. They used any other LGBT or other people in the community just to get the vote. They go to the most. When it comes to other people, they pick the best out of the community that want to get their vote. they come to the African American community, they try to pick what wants is the least, and that's the truth. They don't go to the intellectual people that's going through the struggle, the activists, as then rule no, not the Black Lives Matter one, but other activists that's been doing this stuff on the ground for the regular people for the longest time. They pick the most unintelligent people when it comes to some people out of the black community. But they get the most intelligent people out of the other. Just to say, yeah, and Joe Biden's account said, look, if you're not black, if you don't vote for me, I mean, what kind of bull crap is that? I mean, you know, at least with Trump, he said, well, listen, black people, African Americans, you see your city, what you got to lose? That's all what he said. He didn't say if you don't vote for me, you're not black. I mean, the thing with the Colin Kaepernick thing, whether your view, Pearl's view about that, it was political. It was wrong what he said. I don't know, at some point will Donald Trump see the whole picture, but damn, I mean, you see that these older men, and some people just say stuff and they don't even think about the consequences of what they say to these people, to the public and anybody. So really, what is the difference? What is the difference? So that's why there's a certain percentage of people are not going to vote because they're tired. They're tired of the game. They tired of the. Well, he's trying to divide the country. Well, the country been divided. Donald Trump, and to be truthfully honest, it's been divided. It was divided during Bush. It was divided during Clinton. It was divided during Obama. It wasn't getting better. Certain segments of America was not getting better. Other people were getting the benefits better. But for the other people, the same condition, they live in the same. What they did increase was gentrification to the poor people in the communities. They moved the poor out, and that's what happened. And then all through your cities throughout the United States. So, and Obama was a part of that, whether you want to believe or not. And when you were poor, whether you're poor black or and some who are poor white and Hispanic, you were not the part of it. And as far as being from America, you wasn't a part of it. It catered to a certain demographic. And then I'm starting to understand more about politics. That really it's the people with the money and his electoral votes that count. Your voting don't count. Then they throw this saying, well, you know, your ancestors, no, my ancestors died so that they be equal, but it was not had nothing to do with the vote. Because even when the civil rights people died, the conditions never changed. After they got murdered, it didn't change the inner city. It went worse. They declared spiritual warfare. Because when certain groups like the Black Panther rise up, they knock them down. And to better lift the other community, that would improve the other community. So when other poor communities see that, they want to uplift their community too. But they didn't want to do that. They was targeting the black and certain brown communities and in certain what they call people of Native American communities. This is what they did, and some of them were on both sides of the aisle, Republican and Democrat. They belong to the same doggone house. You know, some are some playing the Shakespeare. Oh, that's the Democrats. That's the racists. They are the new old Republican come the new Democrats, and you know anybody can know if you do the history about between the Democrats and Republicans. It's a old game, new thing. They play one against the other. It's the same old thing. It's the same. They just switch the ball. And it's the truth. Because what conditions had it done? And they let these corporations get away. With all this money, and they'll sit back. They give money just like they do, and they give them billions of dollars. And what they did during the Obama era, between the Obama era, Clinton era, and some of what Donald Trump era, and they gave all these people money. Bush era too. They gave all these companies money these companies they took the money and dipped out and went across and took the factory jobs with them. What's up with that? And then when one thing I can see, even though I don't agree with everything what Trump did as far as the tariffs and certain like things like that, but it was a kind of a modal thing at least to try to get the jobs back to what was going over in some other parts of the places where they paying somebody less money according to the government, according to what you can pay over there in India and China and in the Philippines and Mexico and Latin America and different other places around the world where they can pay people less and get the product out. And so all these major corporations, AT&T and all of them, went over there. And then they take your tax money and imagine and get look at these. Thank you for after 25, 30 years. Screw you. You gone. Hello. You out the door. Now you got to figure out. Now you got to jump from company to company. Now here you put in more time. You looking to get closer to retirement age, and this is what happened. And so they did what they call a Bernie Madoff. And they made off. That's what the big banks and corporations did. They made off. And they went overseas or whatever. And, I mean, man, that's why I said there's no such thing as loyalty to companies no more. These politicians, some of these corporations, they don't give a damn about people. They don't care. Not until they start hitting their pocket. Then all of a sudden then it seems like everybody's lazy. But you're the one that crashed the doggone economy with this bull crap. That's what probably why all those millionaires about a couple of years ago got together, and all of a sudden it was a big secret about that. Anybody, and all of a sudden, bam, a couple of years later, look what happened. All these doggone companies is struggling. People losing their jobs. And it's like these people, they don't care that there's hundreds and thousands of people who are gonna be sleeping in the streets. You're gonna have like a bunch of empty houses and apartment buildings because of all the evictions and everything. And it's the have and have-nots. And you have a government that's playing with the stimulus package and stuff. Just help these people who've been laid off from the job, their one or two or three jobs, who's struggling, who have to keep going to the agencies is getting strapped, the food pantries are getting strapped, and everybody is suffering. And you got these politicians out there worrying about vote for me, make sure you get your ballot. Forget the damn ballot. And I can see, I know this must be a lot of people feel this. Forget who gives a crap. I bet you. I said I'm worried about how I'm going to have food on my plate right now. I ain't worried about you getting in the office. I bet you the average American wonder, hey, is I'm going to have a job so I could feed my family and feed my kids or whatever? There's an individual. So who wants to sleep in a freaking car? I mean, only thing that the churches can only do so much. I mean, with some of them they can only do. And them the ones who have the big heart to do it. Then you got churches that don't want to do it. And even though they make billions and millions of dollars off the view, but they ain't going. Some of them ain't gonna help out because they want to ride around in these big fancy planes and things like that. And they not gonna do things even though they're supposed to be preaching for God and evangelizing and how you can live your best life right now. But they don't care about the people. They ain't willing to sacrifice their money to certain well-known pastors. They're not gonna sacrifice. They ain't gonna give a third of it. Third of what? Everybody wants to play a big dog and let everybody else suffer and die and murder each other and rob each other. As long as they cool, as long as they go to some special island or some special country, they can fly out of this place tomorrow. But for majority of us, we screwed, and they know this, and they get their rocks off of it. Then you got some people that's around Trump. They're just as demonic as the ones. It is the ones that want to come into office. They're all demonic. I mean, just like they could solve this thing with the COVID-19. They got the drug. But you got some billionaire that took it off, took the actual drug that was actually doing this, the healing of people, but they're willing to crash the economy. They're willing to let people just communists crash. And the problem is, they have the problem solved. But they're willing to let billions of people go out and suffer. I mean, so really, some of your health officials, and if you're a doctor that speak up, they threaten to take your license. So you got corruption in the medical community, and they trying to keep it hush hush. They got the cure for some of the stuff. And they had a cure for SARS. They had a cure for H1N1. But all of a sudden, they're waiting for a vaccine that they claim is supposed to. They're trying to get a vaccine that can stun, and all of a sudden that can save you from the COVID-19. There ain't gonna be no vaccine. And even if it does, it'll go to probably do another symptoms. They want to pump you full of all kind of chemicals and stuff. And you don't even know even if you do get the vaccine, you don't even know what is the next breakout gonna be. What if it don't cover the next disease that pops up on the rise? What difference? And then we back to square one again. Back to the pandemic, back to limiting for food and groceries, job getting lost. They get their rocks off of this, people. They all crooked. They playing the game. They playing the game with people. They don't give a crap. And all they want you to focus on this and this and this. You know, right now, I would say right now, America is not really being blessed right now. I mean, have you know what they call the new normal? That you have to walk around like they did in Asia, like the people in Asia don't walk around with masks on. Now the whole world got to walk around with masks. I mean, it's just they doing all this stuff. They don't care about bringing back the economy. It's just a power play. And then when they do, let's say if they do select a different president like a Biden, he gonna probably let down the borders and have all. And that's what he want to do, and then the whole and half of America probably falling. You think you have it bad now trying to get a job? You got to compete against 250,000 people. Now the borders are open. The walls they have taken down the walls, and now you have people that could commit a crime. If there was a drug lord over in freaking Guatemala, he could be a drug kingpin, whatever, and come over and kill about 13, 14 other people. And because of sanctuary, and you can't touch them because sanctuary cities did that part. So therefore, and it's some of the people who they come to to replace you and put them in the house. And they're gonna give them immigrants special grants for them to keep them houses. They're gonna help them out getting them employment. They're gonna make employment for them. But for you Americans, you ain't getting nothing. That's what's coming out. That's what it's about. Immigrants. It's not about America. It's about everybody else. It's about a certain agenda for a certain sexual orientation group of people. And no, we're gonna teach your kid what we want to teach them. We're not gonna teach your kid your morals and values. We're gonna teach them and get real thorough and real gross tests about how people have sex, and if they could be of the same sex, and you're going to like it or not. That's what it's about. They want. I said, this is the most perverted time in history, and you got some perverted people that want to pass perverted laws, even through the courts, even to the highest court. That's what it's about. Forget the morals. It's left. The morals and values you're looking for, the old America that it has some type of moral, halfway moral, is gone. It's gone. They threw God out. They threw God out the school, the church, the courthouse. They want to remove His commandments and everything. You can't say nothing. And God say and turn around and say, God bless America. But yet you take His word out of school. So you take this word out of school. You have no construction for the young people, for the next generation. So it's like, this do what we want to do. And this is how I'm putting all this together. This is why our economy is the way it is. That's why you have companies. It's not prospering, and because you got sick, evil ass people that want to have their own agenda, and they just want to control. It's all about mentally control, and it's true about the social. I believe it is like a form of socialism, and that where some people left parts of the world that they had that socialism, but slowly it's creeping from the other countries into America, because you can only certain say things, and if the government pay for anything, listen here, if the government start paying for something, you better be worried about what is really the agenda. Because you don't want the government just paying for everything, because there's agenda behind it. It's something going. What is this going to cost you more? Your freedom. This is the truth. Is the God's honest truth. What freedom are you willing? And this is what we're going through right now. We're losing our freedom. You're losing your livelihood. This is what's going on, and they're not telling us. They slowly doing this. They're slowly trying to change the hand of the guard and say, "Yay!" As soon as you get this is going to happen. That's how I see it. But if you select the other one, maybe you're gonna go through a little ramification, but at least it'd be some. That's why I would say, ask the Most High who's in alignment. Which one would listen to Him? Which one's trying to do His will is in the earth? Don't go by your emotions. Don't go by your friends. Don't go by your family. Don't go by what the media, social media, and regular media. Don't let them brainwash you. Get in your closet, in your bedroom, and pray and find out what's going to be for the future of your kids and your generation. Is it going to be employment? Are you going to be able to sustain employment? Are you going to have some type of business? Is it going to succeed? Is it's going to feed your household? That's the kind of questions and who is the man who's going to run this country that can keep that up? And as an American citizen, this is to my American citizens. That's just like other people got to look out for their own in different parts of the world. No matter if you were in Europe, they got to look out for their own. If you're in Canada, they got to look out for you can't take up everybody, because everybody is too many people, and then you be competing for they could beat you. Then slowly they'll compete for you. Then they dominate you politically, in business, in areas. Nobody wants to share the information. No one wants to share the 5 avenues when it comes to their resources. Nobody wants to share. This is what one thing I agree with when this one man, St. Claude Anderson, says, it's a human race. Everything is a race. Everybody wants to race for power. Everybody wants to race for resources. Everybody wants to race for the political, so they can bring more to who has a voting base and who would get what their agenda want. If it means hurting other people. Not everybody's for everybody. Not everybody wants to be your friend. This is the reality. We are in a human race. I know we live in a generation that we all, not everybody want that. If people might say that that's what they want, they'll tell you anything what they want. But when they get the agenda in, and they get what they've been pushing for and rights for, you'll see when I'm talking about what change that they want. And if it means your business, your job is gone, that's what it is. If we can get less pay, bringing somebody else can do the work, we'll do it. We'll outsource your company. We'll do it. We don't care. That's how some of these corporations is. If they can get away with it and get cheap little labor, it's why these big executives, like the one that had my buddy's company, get to fly around the world and be sitting eating cherries in some resort somewhere, while the rest of the people is sitting up here trying to figure out when they're gonna get their next meal, when they're gonna from their daddy's and mommy's check. You got these executives flying around the world, and if they can cut the most American people out of it, because they don't want to pay them that money, which they work hard and put their blood and sweat, and Americans put in more hours, more than ever, as far as, and then just for someone that said, they're sorry, oh, sorry about your luck, but I'm going to take my $50 million company and jet the heck up out of America. That's what it's all about. Everybody, and then the ones who do, if they are in America, is basically import other people into America to knock you out of your position. They come in to educate you and knock you and take your opportunity. And that's the truth. It's a race. It's a human race. It's not a race for equality. We will all be equal. No, not all of us is going to be equal. Nobody wants to be equal. To be honest, to be technically honest with you, everybody it's going to be a certain degree, whatever their religion, whatever their religious affiliation is, whatever their sexual orientation is, whatever part of the world they come from. When they get established and understand the rules and laws of America, and somebody can open up a door so they can help them get them grants and help them get them things that most Americans have, that their parents have put into America, those hardworking factory parents that have worked hard all their lives, and the kids in 3 or 4 generations, they're not thinking about you. They're not thinking about you. If they can get to some other country and import their people in, they'll do it. Just like, I mean, if they could send their work out to China, they'll do it. They send out to Japan, they do it. They don't care nothing about you. And some of them politicians that say, yeah, we're going to do this. The rich thing, yeah, that's what they all say. But who actually going to do it? And then is it going to be all people, or is it going to be us first, and then once it's progressive, then it's the opportunity. They just anybody just pull their It's the truth. You gotta keep doing stuff like this and send a message to them. You ain't gonna get the chance to live on the top of all of us for too long. If we got to suffer, you got to suffer. Why should you suffer? The majority of us got to suffer. That's bull crap. And you know that you do what you do because you're lazy and you think you're smart, you're sweaty, and arrogant, and everything else. And I hope it. And so all these companies that do this foul stuff, whatever you do to people, I hope it come back on you, and hope it hits your pockets as well as the people you disturbing their pockets and their livelihood. And that's my name, James. Thank you for hearing my rant for the day. Till next time. The moral of the story is, go on your own business, make your own money, be self-contract. Don't rely on anybody because they ain't all worth a damn. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You guys have a good day and good night wherever you're in the country.